Welcome to another episode of Systems Thinking. I'm your host, Rainey Ingram, and today we're exploring the fascinating world of systems engineering and intercontinental ballistic missiles, also known as ICBMs. We'll explore the history, technology, and the complex design behind these powerful weapons that have played a crucial role in shaping international geopolitics. Our special guest today is Paul White, Digital Engineering Branch Lead for BAE Systems, and Nicole Falkenberg, Program Director for the Masters of Systems Engineering at Weber State University.
Thank you, Rainey. It's a pleasure to be here. Nuclear weapons have been a topic of both fascination and concern for many decades. They emerged because of the complex dynamics of international power, security, and the drive to deter conflicts between nations. Essentially, they're seen as a deterrent to prevent large-scale wars due to the mutual destruction that they can cause. ICBMs were actually born during World War II. Germany started experimenting with nuclear warheads in 1940. In fact, they were working on the A9 and the A10 ICBM as a transatlantic ballistic missile intended for use in bombing New York City.
Wow. I didn't realize that the Germans posed that much of a threat during World War II.
Yes, they did, in fact. So the United States, in cooperation with the United Kingdom and Canada, undertook the Manhattan Project for that exact reason.
Thanks, Paul. So it sounds like the historical context really sets the stage for understanding the significance of ICBMs. I must ask, is there any connection to the movie Oppenheimer?
Yes, in fact, the movie is about the Manhattan Project, and the Manhattan Project was driven by the fear that Nazi Germany might develop nuclear weapons first. And the culmination of the Manhattan Project led to the successful test of the first atomic bomb on July the 16th of 1945 near Socorro, New Mexico. And then, of course, we know about the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, and that's a significant event that shaped the course of history.
That is a fascinating history of World War II. Can you tell us about the Cold War and its impact on ICBMs?
Yes, after World War II, we entered the Cold War, and that was a period of intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. The need to deliver nuclear warheads across continents prompted the development of these long-range missiles capable of reaching targets thousands of miles away within minutes.
Thanks, Paul. Could you dive deeper into the technological aspects of these missiles?
Certainly, Nicole. The Minuteman III, or MM3, is a standout example of ICBM technology. It's one of the most reliable and sophisticated missile systems developed. Its modular design, solid fuel propulsion, and advanced guidance systems make it a formidable weapon. The ability to launch from underground silos provides protection against preemptive attacks, enhancing the credibility of our deterrence strategy. The Minuteman III has a storied history that stretches back decades. Let's start by breaking down its impressive specifications. The solid propellant rocket boasts 3 stages, generating tremendous thrust. So for example, in the first stage, it's 203,158 pounds of force. The second stage has 60,793 pounds of force, and the third has 35,086 pounds of force. Its impressive speed of around 15,000 miles per hour at burnout, combined with a range of over 6,000 miles, make it a formidable weapon.
That is impressive. And let's not forget about the Sentinel system, which is another interesting development in the world of ICBMs. The Sentinel system is a multi-generational technology that will provide jobs for the Wasatch Front for many decades to come. What is the Sentinel's role in the nuclear triad?
The Minuteman III ICBM went into service in the early 1970s with state-of-the-art technology for that time. At that time, people expected to retire Minuteman III by about the mid-1990s, and yet here we are, we're still using Minuteman III today. However, other nations around us in the world are upgrading their nuclear capabilities. For example, you probably didn't know this, but Russia has 5,977 warheads compared to the United States with 5,428 warheads. So they actually have more warheads than we do. And then when we throw in China, so China has 350 warheads, Pakistan has 165, India has 160, and North Korea, which we hear about occasionally, has 20. And all of them are increasing their inventories and technologies. So in response to that, the U.S. Air Force is replacing the aging Minuteman III ICBM with the Sentinel ICBM. The Sentinel ICBM will modernize our land-based nuclear capabilities with state-of-the-art digital technology that will serve our nation for the next 70, and that's 70 years.
Are there any particular technologies that you would like to highlight?
Sure. So the Minuteman III uses analog technology, but the Sentinel will use digital technology. In fact, the Sentinel program is the first all-digital program that the U.S. Air Force has undertaken. The Sentinel program uses digital modeling for requirements, functions, systems, interfaces, and tests. The Sentinel program will also provide a digital engineering ecosystem that will provide infrastructure and data for the execution of its mission. The program will also manage contract deliverables and parts with a digital product lifecycle management or PLM system, and also advanced configuration management and data management.
The Sentinel system highlights how critical systems thinking is in creating a holistic defense strategy. So, Paul, looking back at history, are there any key moments or events that you think significantly shaped the evolution of ICBMs?
Absolutely, Rainey. So the Cuban Missile Crisis, which occurred in 1962, I think that was a watershed moment. It brought the world dangerously close to nuclear war, and it led to a renewed focus on arms control and diplomatic efforts as a way to deal with world issues. The realization of the catastrophic consequences of an unchecked arms race paved the way for various arms limitation treaties and negotiations that continue to influence the nuclear landscape today.
Paul, can you tell us about the role that our state of Utah has played in the history of ICBMs?
Yes, absolutely. So our own Simon Ramo, who was born in Salt Lake City in 1913, is known as the father of the ICBMs. He graduated from the University of Utah in 1933 with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. He served as the system architect, which is also known as a system engineer today, of the Thor, the Atlas, and the Titan rockets. And all three of these platforms, they laid the foundation for the Minuteman III. He pioneered the use of analog technology for tracking requirements, functions, systems, interfaces, and tests. He and the engineers that he worked with did impressive things with the technology that they had at the time. In recognition of his pioneering efforts, he received several awards, such as the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1983, induction into the Theta Tau Professional Engineering Fraternity's Alumni Hall of Fame in 1988, and also the General James E. Hill Lifetime Space Achievement Award from the Space Foundation in 2007. In addition, IEEE awards the Simon Ramo Medal annually to recognize distinguished engineering, and the Theta Tau fraternity offers an educational foundation scholarship in his honor.
And let's not forget how ICBMs have evolved beyond their original purpose. They've become platforms for scientific research, satellite deployment, and even space exploration. Their versatility showcases the adaptability of the underlying systems engineering principles. Paul, could you elaborate on the concept of systems engineering principles and digital engineering in the context of the Sentinel program?
Digital engineering is a game changer in modern engineering practices. It involves creating a virtual model of the entire system, including, once again, requirements, functions, systems, interfaces, and tests. This digital engineering ecosystem, or DES, provides a collaborative platform where stakeholders can work together to design, analyze, and validate the system. It's really a comprehensive approach that streamlines the entire product lifecycle, enhancing efficiency and also reducing risks.
It's fascinating, Paul. What can you tell us about the missile alert and launch facilities that are associated with the Minuteman III?
So missile alert facilities, or MAFs, are where the missile crews monitor the Minuteman III missiles, and they play a crucial role in ensuring that missiles are ready for deployment at any given time. The launch facilities, or LFs, on the other hand, are the actual silos where the missiles are housed. The Minuteman III's dual component system, which comprises the MAFs and the LFs, is essential for maintaining a robust and responsive deterrence posture.
Paul, have there been any recent test fires of the Sentinel missile?
Yes, in fact, one took place this year. There was a recent static test fire on Thursday, March the 2nd at Promontory, Utah. The test fire was successful, and it demonstrated the future potential and viability of the Sentinel ICBM.
Great news. It's incredible how these technologies have transcended their initial purpose. As we wrap up this insightful discussion, it's clear that systems engineering and ICBMs are intertwined in complex ways, reflecting the broader landscape of international relations, technology, and innovation. Thank you, Paul and Nicole, for sharing your experiences and your expertise on this complex topic. And to our listeners, thank you again for joining us.